Hey guys, it's Amy. I wanted to give you a tutorial on these really cool water brushes. I don't know if you've used them before or have even seen people using them. I've seen a few YouTube videos, but they use it in a little different way than I normally do. I've seen some people use it with the magical micas, which are really popular right now. But I'm actually going to be using it with Tim Holtz Distress Ink, some Perfect Pearls, and then we're going to also be using it on stamps. So I just wanted to show you some, oops, not this though, sorry guys. I wanted to show you some of the things that you'll need. Of course you'll need a water brush. You can get these from Close to My Heart, Stamping Up. I know we sell them at Hobby Lobby. I'm not sure about Michael's or Joann's, but you could probably give them a check, give them a try out there. And sometimes when you go to the art department you can find these. Like I had a set that came, it's actually this brush here. And it came with like a set of like 7 or 8 different brushes, and it had the paint was filled up in the tube. Then you could just squeeze it and paint with it, but it also came with an empty one so you could mix a color. And before I had bought the other water brush, I actually just used this. I filled it with water, so you might be able to find it that way as well. Sorry if my voice sounds funny. I'm just starting to get a cold or sinuses. I've never had trouble with sinuses like this in the winter until the last couple of years, so just trying to get through it, and hopefully I'll get better soon. But until then, I'm sorry about my voice. It sounds funny. So you can use any dye-based ink to do this. I know like the Stamping Up, how their lids like you can like squish the ink right onto the lid with the lid closed, and then it like slides up and flips over. You can use that. I think you have to have a dye-based ink though, and not a pigment ink. That's the biggest thing. So what you need is you're going to have to, you'll need either a craft sheet or an acrylic block to lay down your ink to be able to use your water brush. And using acrylic block is fine because most people have those because they have cling stamps. So if you don't have a craft sheet, don't worry about running out and getting that. You'll need dye-based inks in whatever colors you're wanting to use. And then you can also, I'm going to show you how to use the Perfect Pearls. I wasn't sure if this was going to work, but before I did my video, I tested it out, and they are so cool. I think you guys are going to be excited. So I'm going to shut this down real quick and get everything out that I'm going to need to do the tutorial. And I'm going to try to zoom in so you guys can see better. So I'll be right back. Okay, I also forgot to say that you'll also need a stamp cleaner. It doesn't have to be a certain brand or by a certain company. Any stamp cleaner will work. Mine is actually starting to fall apart a little bit. So what you do to get it started, your water brush just screws off very easily like this. You fill it up with water, screw the cap back on, you're ready to go. Before you start, I would maybe run some water through it a little bit, and it's a little hard at first, but if you stay with it, you'll see water start to come through. Give it a good hard squeeze here. Here it comes. And it actually starts to come, there you can see it's coming, dripping right off the brush. Hope you guys can catch that. So you want it just to be a little wet before you start. I'm going to move this so you won't really be able to see it throughout the tutorial. But I'm basically just going to be using it to, just to kind of wipe off my brush, just to clean my brush instead of using like a bowl of water. So just to kind of show you how the water brush works, I'm going to do a sample page first, and then I'll show you how I did the card. So I'm going to start with the stamp. Let me go ahead and fold this. And I think I'm going to do, just so you can see good, I'm going to use the, actually I think I'm going to do the brown. Sorry guys, I'm so indecisive. So I hope everybody came through and was okay with this big storm we had. Our warehouse, the Hobby Lobby warehouse is in Oklahoma City, and their city was completely shut down because of the storm. So I hope you guys were in a safe place and you were able to stay warm. Oh gosh, it just, you know, I was so excited because I love snow. I don't particularly like being out in it, but I love to just be inside, you know, to have nothing to do, sit down, maybe read a book, you know. I'm boring sometimes, so I like doing that. Let me do one more of these. And I'm kind of playing around with where I'm going to have my camera be, because I've been having a lot of trouble. I keep like ending up in my shots, which I don't want to be. So that's why, if you wonder why my head keeps getting into the video. So I'll probably try a different place for the camera each time. So please comment, tell me what you think, which angle is best, what view you can see best. And alright, so what you're going to do, oh sorry guys. Don't you hate it when you have to sneeze and then you can't? Alright, so like I said, you can either lay the ink right down on your craft sheet. I'm going to just do it on my acrylic block. Keeps things a little bit neater. Especially if this was a card I was making for somebody. I wouldn't want to, you know, get the mess right on my card by having it there. And then you're just going to squeeze a few drops of water out onto your ink. Obviously, I mean, I think it's obvious anyway, sorry guys. The more water you put on your ink, see, like that, I always splash. It never fails. When I'm making a card, I always get ink on the back of it. I don't know why. It's crazy. Okay, so the more water you put on, the more diluted your ink will be. The less water you put on, the stronger. What's really nice about, and then you just, once you've squirted water and you've picked up the ink, then you just start coloring. That's all there is to it. It does take just maybe a couple times to practice to get used to how the water and the ink flows off the brush. I'm not a great painter, so this took me a little trial and error, and I'm not great by any means. But most of the time I stay in the lines. Every once in a while I don't. And so yeah, you just paint. And it's really fun because you have colors now that you might not have already had, but you can use them, you know, any of your dye-based inks that you have, or especially like the Tim Holtz inks work so well, because no matter what you do to them, you water them down, they're still going to have the same basic quality that they did when they were in their original form, which is really nice. That works with all of his products. Sorry guys. I haven't done a video in so long I don't even know what to say anymore. So let me get this wiped off. And I want to show you how to use the Perfect Pearls. And again, I know you can't see this, but off the camera, I'm just running some water through my brush and then running it across the cleaner. And there's no cleaning solution in here, just water. And it comes off fairly well. It's pretty good. Alright, so what you do is very lightly, you don't need a whole lot like that. You just kind of drop it onto your, and then just let your water flow through. Here it comes. And so I've done this kind of experiment with this, and I also did it with the ones that I have color Perfect Pearls, sparklers. These, the copper, the bronze, what's the other one? We have copper, that's the copper, this must be the bronze, and then I have a gold. They work the best, as far as this water brush. They, the ones that are called, these are called, sorry guys, these are called Perfect Copper, Perfect Gold. The other ones are called Perfect Sparklers. And the sparklers don't leave as much color as they do just kind of the glitter on the surface. So it is nice, but this I really, really like. And I'm hoping that I don't have this down too far. Sorry. I'm hoping to somehow get my camera hooked up so I can watch my video while I record it on my computer. And that way I can really get a better judgment of if you guys are getting a good view. It's kind of like a blind video right now because I can't really see what's being recorded. And so I'm just going to do this along the edges in just a really light feathery motion. And so you could do, you know, like I said, any colored ink that you have that's like a dye-based ink, you can now turn into a paint, which gives you so much flexibility. I really like that. So yeah, and then once you go through once, you can actually go through again to do a shadow. It's a little, I'm not great at doing shadows, but I think if you had a good enough control, you could probably go back in and add some shadows, make it a little bit darker. Like there, I just went over a bit, but let me let this dry for just a second, and you can already see, and I'm hoping you guys are catching how much shimmer you get. Let me go slowly. How much shimmer you catch when you use those the perfect pearls, the perfect like copper and gold. Really pretty. Alright, so